Hello, Twins fans. Welcome back to another episode of From the Limestone. I'm Matt Lenz with Twins Daily, and today I want to talk about one name on the Twins that should be a trade candidate that I just haven't really seen kicked around a whole lot. Of course, we've seen Max Kepler a ton. We've seen a little bit of Joey Gallo. Some of the more negative fans are pushing to get Byron Buxton off the Minnesota Twins. Hate to break it to you, that's not going to happen. But one name that I really think should be considered, and he might have the most value on the Major League club, is Jorge Polanco. So Jorge Polanco is set to return from an injury here very soon. He's been with the Saints for the last week or so, and he has been taking some reps at third base. Now, I have some concerns with that. Yes, we have a need for a third baseman at the Major League level thanks to Miranda's injury, but I don't know that he's the answer for a playoff team. See, he was moved off of shortstop over concerns over his glove and his arm. And I think those are going to be magnified at the hot corner. And ultimately, as much of a plus hitter as he is, where that's where his value lies, that could really cost us some runs and ultimately some ball games until Royce Lewis comes back. And that's where I think we have the value, we have the room to make Jorge Polanco expendable with the young guys that we have coming through the system. Again, Royce Lewis is coming back from injury. Now, he's obviously been a very injured player to start his career, so as exciting as that is for him to be coming back, you always have to temper expectations there. Of course, we have Brooks Lee, who has been completely on fire at Wichita, and I would expect a promotion to St. Paul really any time now. And then we have kind of a lesser name in St. Paul who has really taken off. He struggled in Wichita and has had more success in St. Paul, which is kind of bizarre, but Anthony Prado, kind of just a super utility. He can play a little bit of infield, a little bit of outfield. I had the opportunity to interview him at the beginning of this season. Great guy, but he's another possible option theoretically if we needed to get that far. But back to Polanco. Polanco is a plus hitter who you can put at the top of your lineup with a little bit of pop. He's probably going to be doing less and less running as his career goes on now. Where there's a lot of value, in my opinion, is that he has 2 team options left on his contract. And so that really gives the team that may acquire him the leverage to work with him if things start to slow down for him. He's had a lot of lower body injuries over the years. They're starting to add up. He hasn't been fully healthy for a full season in a long time. And the last time he was healthy for a full season is when he needed then to have ankle surgery at the end of the offseason. So again, his lower body might start breaking down here, but that's still not to say that he is a plus hitter at the plate that you can put towards the top of your lineup. And he can play a little bit all over the infield. Obviously, second base is his strong suit. And so if we were to deal Jorge Polanco, what would we be getting in return? Now, here's where I think the value lies for the Twins. I think you can deal Jorge Polanco, again, to a team that could use him for the next 2 years and be able to lessen the prospect cost. So let's just use the Cardinals. I think that would be a really good fit for them. If we were to deal with the Cardinals, maybe get Nolan Arenado. Now, that doesn't necessarily fix the issue with Royce Lewis in terms of where does he play, where does Julien play, and things like that. But you don't turn down a chance to deal for Nolan Arenado either. But the Cardinals are in this weird position where they were totally expecting to be contenders. And as of late, they've started kind of winning again. So acquiring a Jorge Polanco would allow them to move a Nolan Gorman, who is a great hitter, a very poor defender, into more of a DH role. Put Polanco at second base and allow their top prospect, a top 10 guy, Jordan Walker, back to his natural position at third base. And so this deal really makes sense for a team that wasn't really planning on selling. So they might kind of sell on this season, but hope to retool for next. While also just with some of the young prospects they have, Gorman and Walker, getting them to a better fit for their games. Again, Gorman he's kind of like a Julien. Doesn't really have a position where he's going to be great at, but he is a very good hitter. And then again, their top prospect, Jordan Walker, has been in right field for most of the season, and so he could shift back to third base, which is his natural position. So I think that's the most natural fit. Another team that is probably selling on this season, but maybe just retooling for next, would be the New York Mets. And we've had rumors with the New York Mets about Tommy Pham and Mark Canha. Now, again, those are outfield types, so that would really just open up a spot for Royce Lewis at third base and give us right-handed bats in the outfield. But again, that's an organization or a team that has the talent to win this year, and for some reason it just hasn't clicked, so maybe they retool and try again next year. I think those are really the two biggest targets, or two biggest teams that might be interested in a Jorge Polanco type, where again, you're lessening the prospect cost because you're providing a player who can give value to a team who isn't totally in rebuild mode. Nonetheless, my whole point here is to say that Jorge Polanco should be on the table when it comes to trade talks. And this isn't necessarily a knock against him. I just think he has the most value of a player at the major league level for our Minnesota Twins. And it's where we have the most depth in the organization. What are your thoughts on trading Jorge Polanco? He's a fan favorite. He's been at the top of the lineup for years and years, but ultimately it might be time to try and regain some value out of him and answer a position of need. Let me know in the comments, let me know on Twitter at Lenzy2108, or let me know on YouTube, Musings from Twins Territory.